But not everyone in the village was pleased by the blossoming friendship between Adama and the stranger. The other villagers, their hearts twisted by jealousy and spite, looked on with envy as they watched the unlikely pair grow closer with each passing day. They whispered behind their hands, spinning tales of deceit and treachery that painted Adama as a scheming temptress and the stranger as a foolish pawn in her game. They spread rumors and lies like seeds scattered on the wind, poisoning the minds of the villagers against them in a desperate bid to tear them apart. But Adama and the stranger paid them little heed, for they knew that their love was stronger than the hatred of others, forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the trials of life. And though the villagers may have scorned them and cast them aside like unwanted refuse, they knew that they had something that the villagers could never take away from them, a love that burned brighter than the sun itself. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, Adama and the stranger found themselves drawn closer together in a way they had never imagined possible. They laughed together, cried together, and shared their deepest hopes and fears with each other in a way they had never shared them with anyone else. And though the villagers looked on with scorn and derision, casting them aside like discarded refuse on the banks of a forgotten river, Adama and the stranger paid them little heed. For they knew that their love was stronger than the judgment of others, forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the trials of life. Together, they roamed the wilderness that surrounded the village, exploring its hidden treasures and uncovering its long-forgotten secrets. They climbed to the summit of the highest hills and swam in the crystal-clear waters of the deepest lakes, their laughter ringing out like the peal of church bells on a Sunday morning. And as they watched the sun dip below the horizon each evening, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, they knew that they had found a kind of happiness that few ever dared to dream of, the happiness born not of wealth or privilege, but of the simple joy of being together. As their bond grew stronger with each passing day, Adama found herself drawn deeper into the stranger's world, captivated by the enigma that was the man beneath the madness. She listened as he spoke of his past, of the wealth and privilege that had been his birthright, and of the pain and sorrow that had driven him to seek solace in the wilderness. But most of all, she listened as he spoke of his love for her, a love that had blossomed like a desert flower in the arid landscape of their shared existence. And as she looked into his eyes, she knew that she had found a kindred spirit, a soul adrift in a sea of uncertainty, seeking solace in the beauty of the natural world that surrounded them. And then, one fateful day, as they sat beneath the sheltering branches of the baobab tree, the stranger revealed his true identity to Adama, a revelation that would change the course of their lives forever. With tears in his eyes, the stranger professed his love for Adama, vowing to stand by her side no matter the cost. He asked her to accompany him on his journey, to leave behind the village that had rejected her and start anew in a world where they could be free to love each other without fear or judgment. Adama was torn. On one hand, she longed to escape the confines of the village and start afresh with the man she loved. But on the other hand, she feared what would become of her if she left everything she had ever known behind. She knew that the villagers would never accept their love, and she worried about what would happen if they were forced to fend for themselves in a world that was often cruel and unforgiving. In the end, love won out over fear, and Adama made the decision to leave the village with the stranger. Together, they packed their meager belongings and set out into the unknown, guided by nothing but their love for each other and the promise of a better life. As they journeyed through the wilderness that surrounded the village, Adama and the stranger found themselves confronted by obstacles and challenges that tested their resolve. They faced hunger and thirst, wild beasts and treacherous terrain, but through it all, they clung to each other, drawing strength from their love. And though their path was fraught with danger and uncertainty, they pressed on, fueled by the knowledge that their love would carry them through even the darkest of nights. For they knew that as long as they had each other, they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their way. Finally, after many days of travel, Adama and the stranger arrived at their destination, a bustling city teeming with life and opportunity. Here, amidst the bustling streets and towering buildings, they hoped to build a new life together, far away from the prejudice and scorn of the village they had left behind. But as they ventured deeper into the heart of the city, they quickly realized that the challenges they faced were far from over. The streets were crowded with people from all walks of life, each with their own hopes and dreams, and the air was thick with the scent of sweat and smoke. And yet, amidst the chaos and confusion of the city, Adoma and the stranger found solace in each other's arms, their love shining like a beacon of hope in the darkness that surrounded them. For they knew that as long as they had each other, they could weather any storm that came their way.